Hello, welcome to Board Deck and Dice. Today we are taking a look at Isaribi, which has been provided by Eagle-Gryphon Games. This is a action selection, action point allowance game based on fishing. As you can see, it has a really good kind of artistic style look. Let's see how it plays. So this is a look at the board and setup for Isaribi, which let's just assume I'm saying it right. You have a round marker here which tells you the round and how many market cards you put out in the market for that round. This side is the market with the harbour down here, and this side is the fishing area, which is populated each round with 4 different types of fish. You have clams, prawns, mackerel and sea bream. Each round you will populate this area by drawing first clams, which are generally the lowest value, then prawns, and then if they get a 1 draw card, you draw 1 more. If you get another 1 draw card, you just move on to the next fish, which is mackerel, and I've got 1 draw, so I drew another one, and then sea bream, which are generally the most valuable. You start with a coloured boat and a coloured marker for your money and wealth. You have the collaborators up here, and every player gets a player board. On the player board there is 3 areas. The first is how many actions you have on your boat. The second is your net, and this is your storage. So from round to round you can keep 1 seafood token. Before you upgrade your boat, you can only do 1.5 actions and only catch 2 prawns or mackerel with your net and 1 sea bream. Clams can only be caught by hand fishing, and the first 3 fish can be caught by hand fishing. The sea bream can't. Hand fishing only lets you catch 1 of any fish, but costs only half an action. As you play the game, you will upgrade whenever you get a chance to upgrade technology. You can upgrade your actions or your net, or you can buy 1 each of the 2 special abilities, which lets you I've put them out wrong. Joy. Ha! So you can buy a client or a smokehouse. The client lets you sell 1 of any fish for 4 ryu, and then the smokehouse lets you store more fish from round to round. After you've set up the round, each player will take a turn to spend up to their allotted action points. So each time it comes round, at first you can spend 1.5. If I'm orange, it costs 1 to move and half to to hand fish. So I could potentially move here and hand fish and take that onto my boat, and now there's no more clams for anyone to get. However, if none of these market cards turn out to be clams, then I'm going to be stuck with that, and I might have to pay a penalty if it's still on my boat at the end and I'm over storage. So what I might do is say I'll spend 1 of my actions to turn round a market card. Now I can see that for the second marketplace we can sell any fish token, any seafood token for 2 ryu each. So let's say I've done that on my next go. Now this guy can only take 1 more. Similarly, if this guy takes 2 mackerels, he cannot be sold to anymore. So there, you're looking at demand, you're looking at the best deals. Every time it comes back around to the first player, another of these market cards will turn over, so you know exactly what's on the market. But in a round like this, where you've got 3 players, somebody is not going to be able to sell all the fish that they have. Other actions that are available to you, you can sell retail for 1 action point, which lets you sell 2 fish to up to 2 market vendors, or you can sell, that's gross, or you can retail sell for half an action point to sell 1 seafood to 1 market card. You can spend 1, and that can only be done once a turn, so you've got to wait for it to come round if you want to sell again, or fish again, or get technology. You can get a technology to upgrade your boat, as we've discussed. You can flip a market card, as we've discussed. And then the other thing you can do is pass. So if you decide to not use all your action points any one turn, so I just move and I've got half left, so I can't do anything else, So I passed. That does not mean the half roll's over, but it does mean that I'm still in the round. If I leave the round, a couple of things happen. I become the first person to leave the round, can't take any more actions that go, but they become the next first player, and they also get first crack at one of these collaborators. If they take one that resolves immediately, they resolve it and the collaborator goes back and the second player can take it. But some resolve at different times. So the dried fish shop lets you store 2 extra seafood tokens. So if you upgrade your boat and you've got that, you can store 6 for another round. This guy, when the market cards go out, lets you look at 3 market cards in the market area so you know what the demand is going to be. This guy just gives you 3 Ryu. This guy lets you place 3 more fishing seafood tokens on a spot of your choice. And this guy gives you an immediate discount on technology of 3 Ryu. So you'll take one of those and if allowed, perform the action. Then another round we'll move on the round, we'll empty the board of tokens and cards, refill it, and each player will take their relevant actions and then choose where to start, in the harbour or on one of the fishing area spaces. After 5 rounds, the player with the most money will be the winner. That is Isaribi. Yes. So Isaribi is a game that I would say there's nothing particularly wrong with. I like the flow of the round. I'm a little bit confused by the 0.5s for actions and stuff, but I guess that's the part that made sense to the designers. I like the theme. I like the kind of art style. I don't know if it's got that much. If it's got that much replayability, that much legs. I think that once you've played it 4 or 5 times, you've really seen everything there is to see, and it's just a case of fulfilling those contracts, working out what's coming out next. But it's always worth having one or two of the higher values. Once you upgrade your ship, it's easy to keep those things around for the higher rounds. So yeah, I mean, you can choose not to upgrade your ship and save that money because the money is your victory points. So there is that choice there. But yeah, it was okay. It's not one that I would personally add to my collection. I think I have other games that I would rather play. But if someone said, come and play a game, I would sit down and I would play it. It goes quick enough. I like the collaborators. I like that idea of taking one and taking that action at the right point, at the relevant point. I think that's where they could have added some variability. I think they could have added some variability in the creatures that you can fish. There are 4, but there could have been some more surprises other than just draw 1, that sort of thing. And I think it would have been nice to see some more and varied special abilities rather than if everyone fully upgrades their boat, they're all going to have the same boat, essentially. So that would have been nice to see them do something with that. So intimidation factor, there's a little bit here. The rule book, as I'll come on to, is a bit loose in places, but when you start to play, it all makes sense. The rulebook, as I say, is very loose in places. I wasn't entirely sure whether your action points lasted the whole round or each turn. It wasn't really clear on that, and we kind of worked out it had to be each turn, otherwise none of you would have done anything by the end of the game. The rulebook makes some errors when it talks about passing and leaving the round, where one point it says passing will do this, and another point it says passing will do this, but in actuality they mean leaving the round. So that passing, leaving the round thing can be an intimidation factor as well, particularly for new players. Passing essentially means you're still in the round, you can take another action. Leaving the round means you're denying yourself taking any more actions, and you get a collaborator and the first player marker. But in the rulebook it does insinuate, well, it says that passing gets you the first player marker after it's just said that leaving the round does it. So there is that. The help cards don't actually have all of your options on, and they don't have the action points listed, whereas you can see that in the Japanese they do, and they only list you can only do this one time around on one of the actions when that should be true of 3, and there's enough space on the English side of the help cards for that just to be included. So that's another puzzle. Fun. I had fun for the time it took to play. Less than an hour each time. Yeah, it's fine. Will I be adding it to my collection? As I've already said, it will not go in my collection. Having said that, I don't think it's a terrible game. I just think it's a game. So there we go. Isaribi, if I'm saying that incorrectly, then deal with it. Thanks very much for watching Board Deck and Dice. We'll see you next time.